Hi, I'm Akanksha Patel. I'm the Director of Information and Technology at Plan International USA. It's a girls' rights organization. We fight for gender inequality, and we have several programs in over 80 countries and 55,000 plus communities. We work with different programs, different organizations to fight gender inequality, human trafficking, and child marriages. And we help girls feel confident and we empower them.
Welcome to Indian Union News. Our guest today is Akanksha Patel. She will be honored as Outstanding Women of the Year 2024 at 21st Annual Women of the Year Awards Gala at Burlington Marriott Hotel in Burlington, Massachusetts. Akanksha, welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Sure.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. And we are really looking forward to honor you on April 26th at Burlington Marriott at our annual awards gala show.
It's a pleasure. I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
So, Akanksha, tell us about your journey that being a professional information and technology sector, what made you move to beauty pageant?
So I have been working on technology after my college so I did electronics and communication engineering. So I always had that tech in me. But moving to the beauty pageant, it came as a surprise to me. One of my friend was applying for beauty pageant, and she introduced me to this world, and I was really fascinated by it, and I was also curious at the same time. I wasn't sure how it's going to play out, but as in life, we want to see how everything is, and I like to have diverse experiences in life. I enjoy it. So I said, why not? Let's go for it. And when I jumped into it, I wasn't sure there's going to be so much hard work and so much time commitment needed. But everybody else was like so amazing. They were amazing. They taught me what needs to be done. Because coming from a tech perspective, it's like a completely 180-degree shift. And I kind of felt that, okay, there were so many things that I was not aware of. But I did not feel that as a competition at all.
You can be a professional. You can be also beauty. You can
exactly
everything you want, you can do in your life, as long as you have that passion.
Absolutely. And I feel like if I can do it, anybody could do it. It's just like you need to have that passion, as you said, and dedication. And plus, you need that support also, which I'm so lucky that I got that support from my friends and my family. So I think that our journey was amazing. I enjoyed so much. It was like, for me, it was not like a professional thing. It was more like a fun and enjoyment thing that I had so much fun. My kids loved it. I have 2 daughters, and they were so excited. They were so surprised just to see me doing that beauty pageant with the crown.
And then you crowned as a Mrs. India, Rhode Island.
Yes, yes, which was a totally surprise even for me. But because I wasn't expecting that, I was more focused on how can I be a better person? How can I learn something new in my life? Because, even though I'm in tech, I also explore other things. I'm very curious person, I'm telling you. And
curiosity is very good.
It's very good, right? Like humans need that. And I feel like by just going into that, it just made me feel so much more confident that yes, I can also do some other things also in life, which are totally different from my current profession.
So now let's come back to the place where you work, the international organization, and you have been there for 9 years. And the mission of your organization is fighting gender inequality, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So my question to you is, what is your solution to that problem and what you have done and how your organization works on that?
Yeah, it's a very big question. And I know so many organizations are working towards it. And my organization, we collaborate with other organizations.
So first tell us about your organization.
Yes. So Plan International USA, it's a girls' rights organization. Over there, we fight for girls' gender inequality, child marriages, human trafficking. So we have different programs and we work with other organizations to make sure that our goals that we have towards how to protect girls is achieved. So we also work in different sectors like health sector. So how can girls feel confident? They have all the medical needs that they.
So tell us a little bit in terms of your organization. Plan International is based in UK, right?
Our headquarters are in UK,
is in UK,
and then we have different national offices in Belgium, Switzerland, US.
How many countries roughly?
There are like over 15 countries.
Right.
We also have an office in India.
Okay, excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is your personal solution to this problem?
I feel
To
like
this problem, gender
to gender inequality. I feel like education and knowledge. And I feel like with education and knowledge, we can break this barrier, because right now, the way everybody is going and is brought up, they do not think about gender equality. So for example, if I think about going to a hospital, there'll be a nurse. By default, I'm thinking there's going to be a female.
Hmm.
But that's like a stereotype I have in my head because of the society.
And especially with our Indian cultural background.
It has nothing to do with the culture you're coming from. It's like globally.
So you think that problem is, I thought it was much more, the gender discrimination was much more common in India than here in the US.
I think everywhere there is some level of it. As you're developing, or the country is developing, it is going down. But at the same time, we have to fight gender inequality at every place, wherever there are stereotypes like that. As I gave that example about a nurse, you by default, you're thinking about a female person. But when you say like a pilot, you're by default thinking of a male person. So these are the stereotypes. And until we can get past that equality is not possible. And when we talk about even like a gap in salary, again, that gender plays.
Sure.
Yeah, so that is what my organization is fighting for. And I personally also do that. I have 2 girls. I always empower them.
How old are your girls, sir?
9 years and 6 years
9
old.
6, yeah. Okay.
Even though they are very young, I'm teaching them at the very young age that there's nothing that you cannot do that a boy can do. So it's like you have to train them.
No, my question to you is that suddenly we grow up and realize, oh my God, there is discrimination, there is inequality.
Yes.
What is the source? How does it start? How people start thinking, oh, she's a woman, so she should be paid less? Is it male biased, female biased, or both, or how?
I think it's not just conscious bias. So there are 2 things: conscious bias and unconscious bias. So conscious bias is when you know you are doing that bias in your mind, and then you are going ahead with that. That's conscious bias, and that's definitely wrong. But there's also something called as unconscious bias, where by default you're thinking, okay, so she's a woman, she has to take care of the kids, she has to do the housework, she has to do this. Like, that is unconscious bias, but it is there. So we have to fight both kind of biases to get through this. And
okay. So I understand. What happens in tell us about your family dynamics? Is there that bias is there too? Or?
In my family, it's not that much, because I feel like, as you can see, it all depends on the woman in the family, how they set the rules. And I feel like I'm so blessed to have a great family. In our family, we all work. It's not like only it's my responsibility to do this or certain things. My husband helps with all the responsibilities about the children. He takes.
I think you really you made a very good point that it is the women
who has
the female who sets the rule. And if you really think this, something you said very powerful. That's so true. That if they set the rule,
that this is how it's supposed to be, and both are equal.
Sure.
And unless you establish that in your family, how can you change something outside in the world when you're not even following that in your own
And once
house.
the rules are followed at home, the children are going to see that they are going to do exactly the same thing.
And that's why people say that mother is the backbone of the family. And then that's how you lay the principles for them, how they lead their life going forward.
Okay. Now, coming back to your volunteer work, you work for every Sunday for some...
Hari Vidya Bhavan School.
Okay, tell us about that.
I'm very passionate about that school. So over there, we teach young minds Indian culture and also Hindi language, to write and speak Hindi language. So we have different classes, and I take one of the classes and I enjoy, oh my God, my class is like amazing. Young minds, they're like sponges, they are ready to absorb everything you say. They want to learn more about Indian culture. They want to learn about who is Lord Ram, who is Lord Krishna, and like what can we do, and all the stories, which is kind of amazing.
And how long you have been doing this?
For 3 years, almost 3 years now. Since I got to know that there is a Hindi school here in New England where I can just like volunteer. So I was like, first I wanted to know how the school is and everything. And I felt the people were amazing. They invited me with open arms, and they said, if you can help in any way. And I was so happy to be a volunteer there. And over there, it's just like when people join that school, they don't realize how much impact it's going to have in their children's life.
So now in your value system and your the way you work today, what role was played by your parents?
They played a most important role, because since since I remember, they always told me that my brother and I, we both are equal. They always treated us equal. They did not follow what society was back then in India, because I grew up in India.
And where did you grow up? In which place?
In Indore.
In Indore.
Indore.
And where did you study and all?
I finished my studies in Bangalore. And then after that, I went to Pune for work. So I have been to, I feel I have been to most of the places in India. So I understand different cultures. And I think that's what made me how to be more inclusive and diverse. So, yeah.
And what are some of the companies you work in India?
Yeah, I work for Infosys Technology, and I work for American Express.
Okay. And how long you have been in the US now?
For last 10, 11 years now.
Okay.
At this point.
And what brought you to US?
The reason I came over to US was my husband was working for a company in US, and he wanted to come back to US. So I quit my job. I came here, but at the same time, I wanted to do something for myself. So I kept learning. I kept polishing my skills. And when I could go back to work, I immediately he was surprised too. Within 2 weeks, I got job. I started working towards my goals in life.
And so it was a love marriage or arranged marriage?
It was an arranged marriage.
So I'm very curious about that now. So tell us, I think now India has also changed,
Yes,
during when I was growing up.
Absolutely.
The love marriage was very rare to hear, but now it is very common. So what is your take on the love marriage versus arranged marriage?
I feel like I don't have an opinion like that. I feel like it's equally whatever works for you. Because for me, arranged marriage worked for me, because at that time I didn't have anybody that I could spend my whole life with. So the perfect solution was to go to my parents and let them decide. But for anybody else, I know my friends, many my cousins, they found the love of their life by their own, and which was amazing. And I'm so proud of them. So I feel like whatever works for you, that's the best solution. It has nothing to do with I don't believe in that taboo love marriage versus arranged marriage. Back then, I never believed. Right now, I don't believe.
So now another question I'm going to ask you. Yeah. Feel free not to answer this. Okay. Yeah. So did you meet before marriage? Did you meet your husband? Did you meet your husband, to see him before or no?
I saw him once, just like a typical Indian arranged marriage. You meet that person for like 30 minutes and then you decide your life. But what I did was, I think I'm so proud of that decision. I told my parents and to now my spouse, I told him that I need 6 months of time to decide, and I'm not marrying before that, because he wanted to get married, like, just typical Indian
So this
marriage,
is
like
really
decide and done. And I was like, I set the rule. I said, I need 6 months of time. And to my surprise, exact after 6 months, we got married.
So it's a very courageous, to tell parents that, look,
Yeah.
okay, fine, I'm going to marry, but 6 months.
Yeah.
So why you ask for 6 months?
I thought 6 months is a good enough time for me to understand that person and for him to understand me too. I was not just thinking about me, but also for him to understand. Because obviously you just make two people meet, 15%, they are only projecting the best.
So what happened during those 6 months?
During those 6 months, I think he got to know what
So like
what
you will
my
talk
goals
or you
are
will
in
meet
life.
or how?
We did not meet, but on phone we did talk, so we could share our ideas, our perspectives of our life going forward, like future life and our goals, how it's gonna look like. So I felt that set a really good foundation for us.
Okay. So now, if there is a 15-year-old girl which
Mhm.
comes to you
Yeah.
and says, okay, you have all this experience in your life,
Yeah.
give me 2 advices. What will be your 2 advice to that 15-year-old girl?
2 advices. I'll say focus on studies and your career. That is definitely number 1. And second would be to never leave your passion. If you're passionate about something, no matter who tells you what, go ahead with that.
And let me add third one on your behalf, that if you get married, make your rules, right?
Make sure but rules that are something you also consider others' perspective also. So I'm not saying go ahead with any rules. It's more like what would work for both of you, not just for you. What is best for the family? But make sure you're strong, you lay down the rules.
Akanksha, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. Really enjoyed chatting with you.
Thank you so much. It was great.